Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? Welcome to Patch Day. Visionary Realms are doing patches every patches. I can't talk today. They're doing patches every Wednesday now for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. And we're getting some cool ones, and this is a small one, but it is significant, and there's some cool things in here as well. So we're going to read through and we're going to have a look at all of these. Obviously, of course, if I could ask you to please subscribe, click the subscribe button, drop some comments down below on what you think about these changes. I think the vast majority of these ones are really cool, and I'm looking forward to getting in and playing. I found some of the, well, I found one of the exciting things. I can't find the others yet. I will probably do another video when I do find them, mainly because they're roguey and I'm excited about them. But let's crack on. So this is, interestingly, this is a data only patch. So you won't need to download any patches or any patch files when you load up the game. So you can go straight in and you can have a look and see all of these for yourself. And the first one, which is really important, is they've increased the experience bonus for elite NPCs, also known as chevron mobs or group mobs, and added a scaling modifier to the elite NPC experience bonus based on the NPC level. Now, I'm guessing the scaling modifier is going to be if they are higher level, you're going to get a little bit more XP, so that the level is going to ramp up. Obviously, this is their maths. That's their prerogative on what sort of amount and what sort of level of XP they want to give us when we're killing these elite mobs. But that's really important. I have been duoing and like trioing and grouping over in Eastern Plains recently, and just like destroying all the mobs in Eastern Plains. And up until a couple of levels ago, it was much faster XP than going into most of the group mobs. And obviously the group mobs are going to be taking longer to kill. The non-group mobs you just rinse, and the amount of experience per hour that you were getting was still higher than kind of going into some of the elite stuff. So this is a really good change. It's going to encourage us to kind of go into Halnir Cave and rock around and try and find the Rulus and things, or the Rulus over in Eastern Plains, and try and explore a little bit more in Silent Plains, things like that. Anyway, so really good change. Be interested to see what the shift is now. A bone spike can now be interrupted. Yay! No more getting spiked by a bone without being able to interrupt or stun it. And then we get on to all the class stuff. Now I have got Shalazam here as well, so we can kind of check on all the spells, and we're going to start with the Cleric. So Writ of Refreshing, the cooldown has been removed. Now, I don't know whether Shalazam had this updated correctly, because on here it says that the cooldown was already 1 second, so it sounds pretty quick anyway. But yes, now you have the cooldown removed on your Writ of Refreshing. Writ of Refreshing is the readiness buff. So you get a powerful writ that increases the amount of readiness your group gains through readiness generating actions for by 10 for 45 minutes. So that just means that you can target your group and just spam all the way across and buff up your group. Bond of Protection is now fixed. Now this is similar, you'll notice down here as well, for the Dire Lord. The Dire Lord has got Dire Mark fixed. Let's just go and have a look at the other. No, so there's no Paladin or Warrior on here, so I'm guessing they haven't got a similar one. But this is Bond of Protection, is bonded with a group member, and this is the same with the Dire Lord as well, with Dire Mark. You bond with a group member for the next 8 seconds. Whenever that player takes damage, 20% of that damage is redirected to you, and you cannot apply Celestial Bond to yourself. The Dire Lord one, I think it's 25%. You pick somebody in your group or your raid, and 25% of the damage that they take is redirected to yourself as well. So there was clearly an issue with how that was working, but that's now been fixed, which is good. Divine Enfeeblement has changed to level 20 in the Codex. So seek the Divine to remove an enemy's power, decreasing their outgoing damage by 8% for 20 minutes. So this used to be level 5. It is now level 20. I've got a kind of a thing about the cleric buffs and the cleric spells, and how all the cleric spells are kind of presented to you. So maybe I'll do a video on that at some point. So now this is now level 20, not level 5, and yeah, So mobs are going to do less damage to you at from level 20. Invigorate buff duration normalized to 45 minutes. I'm sure that used to be like 30 minutes or something, so now it's now 45 minutes, so it lines up with all the other buffs. Conviction and Inspire allies have been removed from the global cooldown. So Conviction, increasing your spell power by 10 and your haste by 15% for 10 seconds, which is obviously really, really cool. That's the one that you can throw on. And then the Inspire allies, I think, is the same, but it's for... or it's at least similar. So Rally the Spirits, increasing their attack and spell power by 15 for 20 seconds. So removed from the global cooldown, so you can always get that in if you need to. The Dire Lord, Blood Draw adds provoking phantom stacks, like all the other life taps in the Dire Lord line, which is good. Chaotic Imbuement duration has been increased to 15 minutes. Oh, Chaotic Imbuement is amazing. Chaotic Imbuement adds a proc to the target's weapon damage, and I think it was 5 minutes before, and you would never be able to get the chances to cast it. Like it was just constantly having to need to be rebuffed. So increasing this to 15 minutes, maybe we'll see some more enchanters using this. I love it. It's great. It just kind of selfishly buffs my DPS a little bit, and yeah, enchanters always good. So this is a direct DPS increase to enchanters. Thank you very much. Monk, Gate of Anger, upkeep cost removed, block rating removed, tooltip updated to 200% threat, not 250. So Gate of Anger was increasing the outgoing threat by 250 and the block chance by 20%, so that has obviously been changed. The Chi Shield has been moved to your utility bar, which is an interesting one. I don't know how many utilities monks get, but Chi Shield is your absorbing the next source of spell damage up to the amount of your total health. So that kind of balances in with the Dire Lord and things like that, and the tanks where you're blocking incoming damage. That tends to be a utility for everybody else, so that makes sense. I hope the Rogue one, so the Rogues get a Shadow Clone which allows you to dodge the next attack. I hope that doesn't get moved to the utility bar, because our utility bar is jammed pack full. And then Chi Shield also no longer breaks early on dot or climate effects, which is brilliant. Ranger, Ferocious Assault fixed a graph issue where two parts of the attack were overlapping. Unleash a fury of rapid strikes, inflicting high physical damage and interrupting the target's spell casting. So that is, I don't know what the graphic issue was, but the two parts of the attack are now no longer overlapping. Now, the Rogue. Now, there's some really good things in here, and then there's one that's an absolute kick in the proverbials. So we'll go to the sad one first. Shadow Step cooldown is adjusted to 30 seconds. They removed this cooldown, and it hadn't been on there for ages, and I was shadow stepping across the world. I could do Demeth to Eastern Plains in 10 minutes. And now I can no longer do that because they've put a cooldown on it for 30 seconds. I'll probably never use it again now. I probably will never use it again. I don't think shadow stepping behind the target. It depends in the situation. If you are crawling. See, that's really annoying because it was really useful when you were crawling around and like clearing in like Eastern Plains and things. You could stay in stealth. The rogue is a tricky one because you have to go into fights with all your resources, whether that's a group fight or a solo fight. So if you're in a group and you are walking around a zone, finding mobs to kill and just going from mob to mob to mob to mob, Shadow Step was really useful for that because you could stay in stealth. As soon as the fight would finish, you'd stay in stealth, or you'd go to stealth, you would get all your resources up, or get all your opportunity up, get all your readiness up, and then you could keep up with the group because your movement speed is lower. You could keep up with the group and then still be around and be there when you were when they were ready to kind of pull, or when they pulled the next mob. Without it, you're either going to be... Yeah, it's just tricky. Like Dropper keeps talking about rogues being like the preparation and being very prepared for a fight and having to do things before a fight happens. And they're they've just made it a little bit more difficult to prepare for fights at a pace maybe at which some groups kill. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it will ever get on my bar again, to be honest. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So, anyway, the interesting things. Shadow clone buff icon should show correctly. Now, I haven't been seeing an issue with this, so I'm glad that it's been sorted. I'd be interested to know what the issue was. If you know, drop a comment down below. Explosive decoy has been added to the vendors. We'll come back to that one. Elixir of opportunity added to the vendors. Now, I couldn't find any of the elixirs. I have found explosive decoy. I'll talk about that in a second. Elixir of opportunity, maybe a clicky gives you an opportunity. It would be really, really good because of things like shadow step cooldown. Sorry, not shadow step. Escape artist reduced to 2 opportunity. So maybe elixir of opportunity is a clicky that gives you an opportunity point, possibly. And toxic elixir added to vendors. I don't know what it is. Can't find it. I don't want to speculate. I'm guessing it might be something similar to the explosive decoy, and the toxic elixir is the poison damage which heals you. Maybe. I'm speculating. I'd love it if it was. That would be really, really fun. Especially with it being an elixir, because I wasn't a massive fan of the jacket title, which sounds ridiculous, but I think they could have targeted it in a different way and had it like a set of contraptions on the arm or something, that when you parried your next attack it then set off an explosive decoy or something from your forearm, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, toxic elixir has been added to the vendors. If you can find it, let me know what it does. I really want to know. Escape artist cost has been reduced down to 2 opportunity. Escape artist used to be 3 opportunity. It was really tricky. You had to smoke trick to go into stealth to try to gain your opportunity, particularly in a fight, because you're usually using up all your opportunity in a fight. I tend to maybe have one spare to kind of play around with, but escape artist reducing its cost might synergize quite well in with elixir of opportunity when we find out what that is, so that'd be good. And then flash bomb and smoke trick now toggle auto attack off properly, which is perfect. Really, really good. It was an absolute nightmare buff. You had to click your auto attack off, then flash bomb so you could pull out of combat, then you could smoke trick and drop all aggro, or you could flash bomb and stun the mob so that you could solo a little bit better and drop in behind it. If you watch my soloing video, you'll have seen me do that. So yep, some good changes for the rogue apart from a shadow step. I don't know what cooldown. If it was a cooldown of 10 seconds, I'd probably still use it. I'd probably still use it if it was 10 seconds. 30 seconds, I don't know. I don't know what use it's going to be. I'm going to have a play around with that. I will have a play around and let you know. Anyway, the explosive decoy. Explosive decoy is now in the game. It's really, really, it's really, really cool. It is. So it's labelled as a jacket, but if you go and buy it from the vendor, it is an explosive decoy scroll. When you then learn it, you learn the explosive jacket skill, and then when you put it on the bar, it's called an explosive jacket, and then when you buff yourself, it's called an explosive jacket. And I can show it to you because I logged on. I logged on and I went and did it before this patch video. So here is the explosive line jacket. So rig yourself. I'll just pause that there. So rig yourself with an explosive jacket. Next time you receive physical damage, the jacket will explode, dealing damage to yourself, 5% of your total health, and heavy damage to your opponent. Now, like I said in my jacket breakdown video, I don't like getting hit. I don't want to get hit. I'm never gonna aim to get hit in a group. So this is very much a solo thing. You're always going to get hit straight away unless you've miraculously stunned the mob with an offhand attack with a blunt weapon. So you're always going to get hit straight away. So you're doing upfront damage. Now, I kind of like upfront damage. Upfront damage is good for a rogue. If you watch my rogue soloing video, you will know that kind of like you try and front end as much damage as you can right at the beginning of the fight. Front load it all. So this is front loading some of that damage. How much damage do you say? Let me show you. So explosive line jacket. I'm just going to go up to this black bear here. I'm going to hit it once. I'm going to turn auto attack off. Boom, 161. Let's just rewind that. 161 damage. This is at level 23, so I'm level 23, explosive line jacket, 161 damage. Now I would love, just as an aside, I would love the explosive traps to scale like this, because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it does about 30 damage at level 3 from the example that we had when Jopper did it on stream. He was level 3, it hit for 30s, which it hit for 24s, which was at level 3 the same damage as a explosive trap. So if I could get an explosive trap to hit for 161 as well, and then I can solo really efficiently, or much better at least. I can take less damage, because at the moment I'm soloing, I'm taking 40% health. You'll see down in the bottom right hand corner here, I've got 1 health potion left, because I have been soloing with health potions just to try and speed it all up. But yeah, 161 damage for an explosive line jacket, which is pretty cool. Explosive decoy. I'm going to suggest that they try and factor in some sort of arm contraption for that, like a hidden blade sort of. I don't know what they'd call it, but a bracer, explosive bracer, or something like that. So it's based around your arm. That would be quite cool. Explosive decoy is not too bad. And also, I think it would be quite fun if it was linked to a parry. So the first time you parry, or the first time you dodge, I think the first time you dodge an attack, because that then links that ability into something else within your set of stats. So if you are going heavy agility based to try and improve your dodge, or maybe if you have an agility set of armor so that you can solo and dodge a little bit better, I think it might be quite cool to link it in with something like that. So you could, the first time you dodge an attack, the bomb goes off, or like you throw your arm at the mob, or the first time you parry the attack, the parry hits your forearm and sets the bomb off, like forward facing forearm, something like that. That might be quite fun. Anyway, yes, there we go. I will probably do a video about all of these once we find the elixirs as well. Summoner, Shield of Spinning Blades, damage has been increased. Now the Shield of Spinning Blades is a higher level version of the Shield of Spinning Splinters. It is level 28. So the level 28 damage shield, your damage has been buffed, which is good. And then Orbiting Swords, that damage has also increased. Anyway, let me know if that's good. I'm guessing it is. Sounds like a good thing to have some damage increases. And then the last little bits are some items and some crafting. We've added some itemization for monks to the Lost Orcs. So the monk gear is particularly difficult to kind of find and come across. So if you want to go and kill some Lost Orcs and try and find some new monk gear, go do that as soon as you log on. Green Mist Cloth wristbands should now equip to the appropriate slot. I don't know where they used to equip, but now they're in the right slot. And all shields have been rebalanced to account for changes in the block formula that were introduced with EA. As a result, all shields should now be more effective equipment options. Now this is really good. I don't know what the block formula was, but I thought it was really strange how all the stats had been kind of crunched and then the block stat was still in the hundreds. This will be really interesting. I'm going to grab my warrior and go and see how this has changed. Let me know exactly how it's changed, because I haven't got as much experience with warriors, so I will go on and just kind of go, oh cool, okay, and try and kind of figure it out. But drop down in the comments exactly what these changes are and how they're going to impact you, which is good. Note, crafted shields will undergo further tuning and changes in future updates. Now, I don't know whether crafted shields are really high on the block or really low on the block, but either way, if they're really low, don't worry, they're going to get sorted in a future update. If they're really high, go and use as many crafted shields as you can before they change it. Crafting, weaponsmithing and armor smithing. The schematic for combatants heavy knuckles should now properly accept its components, and also the arena fighting gloves should now properly accept their components. Brilliant. And the schematic for the proficient's robe should also now properly accept their components. Really, really good. A nice little quick patch. I'm really quite excited by the amount of changes the rogue has had, apart from this last one, of course. Yeah, the elixirs. The video that I did about the new jackets, I kind of made a point in there saying, please, Visionary Realms, don't forget about elixirs, poisons, traps, vials, flasks, and all the kind of lines we've already got. So these elixirs should be really, really good fun, and I can't wait to try and find them. I don't know where they're going to be. I don't know what vendor they're going to be at. Maybe they're just going to appear in a few hours' time, and then I will probably drop them down in the comments down below or in the description to let you know. So yeah, thank you very much everybody for watching. I will see you all next week on January the 29th for the next patch. Maybe it'll be druids, we don't know. And yeah, let me know what you think about the changes. Rogues out there, let's go and solo and see how all these kind of stack up. 160 damage on an explosive decoy is going to help front loading that damage, so that's going to be really, really good fun. Yeah, thanks very much everybody, take care, and I will see you all next time. Cheers, bye bye.